Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to LMC Varsity Sports presentation of Mamaroneck Tigers Varsity Basketball. With Elijah Ware, I'm Stephen Astis, coming to you from the gym at Palmer Avenue. It's going to be a great matchup today, Elijah. We have two really talented teams. Mamaroneck coming in at 2-0 in their home opener. They won their tournament over in Sleepy Hollow, and Roosevelt coming in at 1-1 on the season.
Yeah, it's a good early season matchup between two teams. I'm looking for these teams to get up and run a little bit. Mamaroneck had a low-scoring game in their first two games, so I'm looking for these teams to pick up the pace offensively and keep scrapping on defense.
Coach Stevens talked about how he likes to get out in the open and run and trap. He said he loves his matchups against Coach Carver because they run similar styles and philosophies. So we'll see how those two squads match up today here at Mamaroneck High School on LMC Varsity Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first the non-starters for Roosevelt. Number 4, Zach Dempster. Number 2, Kai Thomas. Number 11, Joshua Ferrara. Number 31, Nashor Small. Number 24, Michael Oliver. Number 10, Stephen Lucas. Number 22, Jonathan Flores. Number 12, Shiloh Rogers. Number 23, Jordan Torres. And now the starters. A 5'10", senior guard, number 3, Jonathan Dela Cruz. A 6'3", senior center, number 5, Gabriel Bras. A 5'7", senior guard, number 1, Marcus Heron. A 6'2", senior forward, number 13, Jaden Stevens. And a 6'1", senior forward, number 14, Justice Rivera. And the head coach, Mr. Ken Stevens. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet your 2018-2019 Mamaroneck Tigers. Number 1, Will Webb. Number 11, Alex Burney. Number 12, Quinn Levy. Number 14, Ryan McIntyre. Number 23, Chris DeVito. Number 32, Thomas Plunkett. Number 33, Aiden French. Number 34, Dave Thompson. And starting today's game for the Tigers, a 6'1", senior forward, number 20, Shane Smith. A 6'1", senior guard, number 5, Gavin Zampini. A 5'10", senior guard, number 3, co-captain, Ethan Renner. A 5'11", senior guard, number 21, Tommy Martin. And a 6'5", senior forward, co-captain, Will Shortley. The assistant coaches, Mr. Mamaroneck, Mr. Greg Cuddy, Mr. Robert Cruz, and And the head coach of the Tigers in his 14th season, Mr. Tyrone Carter Jr.
Here we are with the opening tip. First home game for Mamaroneck facing the Roosevelt Sharks. Will Sharkesy will take the tip against Jaden Stevens. Stevens wins it, gets it over to Gabriel Braze, and now it's the diminutive Marcus Heron to bring the ball across the timeline.
Looking for Heron to, as the point guard, to push the pace, keep his team energized. That was a close call right there. I don't think he moved his pivot foot, but the referee calls a travel nonetheless.
Set the tone early. It's early in the season. Don't want them to get too sloppy too early, I suppose, is the thought there. So here comes the senior captain, Ethan Renner. Gets it to Will Sharkesy. Oh, Tommy Martin unable to handle it. Fortunate bounce over to Sharkesy. In and out. And it's coming the other way. Here comes Stevens. He is stopped by Martin, and he will kick it back out to Heron.
That's a deep three.
Swings it the other way. It is in and out. De La Cruz tries the long three. It's no good. They get it down low to Sharkesy. Martin slashes into the lane. Gets it out to Runner. 4-3 off the back of the rim. Sharkesy gets the rebound. Powers his way inside. And scores the first two of the game.
So you see Will Sharkesy imposing his will early. He missed the first bunny, but he got that one, got the putback, and the team is up 2-0.
Roosevelt now running a motion offense down in the right corner. Sharkesy out top on the point guard. Good job closing out by Martin. Dribble drive inside, and the charge is the call. Gavin Zanghini, who has been the leading scorer so far this year, making his mark here in the early going.
Great rotation on defense. 6:28 to go, and Mamaroneck's defense is looking good here to start off this game.
Zanghini has been a fantastic story in perseverance, Elijah. He didn't get much playing time last year, but now with the absence of Jared Bader, their leading scorer, Sharkesy has filled that role capably. And there is Sharkesy with the jumper. I should say Zanghini has filled Bader's role here in the early going very capably, but that was Sharkesy with the jumper on the wing.
Sharkesy, the biggest one on the court. If he continues to impose his will, play the mid post to low post, he can have a big night.
That shot is long over the outstretched arm of the 6'5" forward. Here comes Zanghini knifing in the lane, gets it up on the rim, no good. He got it up on the glass, it fell short of the rim, and here is Tommy Martin meeting Heron at the timeline.
Roosevelt trying to get into their motion offense, unable to get anything going thus far, but their coach is still imploring them to run the motion and drive and attack. As we see right here from Heron, he gets the roll.
Great job there by the point guard, protecting the ball, going in against the bigs, and getting the ball up on the glass and on the rim over Sharkesy.
Yeah, the key with the little guys going in the paint, you really want to get contact with the shot blockers. And Sharkesy possibly got fouled on that one.
Great offensive rebounding here by the Tigers. The first one by Shane Smith. That most recent one by Sharkesy, and he is rewarded as he gets the ball back and hits the free throw line jumper.
So that's two mid-range jumpers for Sharkesy and a layup. So he continues to play his way around the paint area, and he's made a big impact to start off this game.
Rivera comes out to try and set the pick for the point guard, and he uses it and strokes the three. Good hustle there by De La Cruz to knock that pass from Renner out of bounds. Renner has been a part of the varsity program since his sophomore year, and this is really an opportunity for him to shine now, as James Mineta did a fantastic job leading this team to the sectional semifinals last year, and now the reins are in the capable hands of Renner. Good job there by Renner getting his hands on that stolen pass. Zanghini goes all the way to the rack, lays it up off the rim, no good. Here comes Roosevelt the other way.
bad passes by both teams there. Neither team able to capitalize. And we're at 6-5. And this is a blocking foul called, looks like it's on Sarkozy.
I believe that was actually on Zangini, yes, blocking in the lane. So De La Cruz will be at the line shooting 2. What happened there was Renner got hung up on all the picks that they were setting for De La Cruz, and De La Cruz finally found the opening and got inside the lane, and Zangini tried to draw the charge. He was just a step too late.
And that's what Roosevelt has been trying to do to start off this game. They're running their motion offense, and as they run through their motion, they're looking for the gaps in the defense to drive and attack.
Good job by Zangini coming over. Poor execution on the pass, though. It's a turnover as Heron takes it. Gets it over to Stevens, and now back, and Roosevelt will run the offense. Now up by 1 point with 3:38 remaining in the first quarter. Good dribble drive and stroke by Jaden Stevens, the senior small forward. And Mamaroneck calls a timeout. So with 3:29 remaining, Mamaroneck trails 9-6. We'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports. So Renner will bring the ball back up court, down by 3. Smith with the skip pass over to Zangini, the three-pointer off the mark. Good offensive rebounding by Tommy Martin. Here's Sarkozy for 3. It is good. And the game is tied at 9.
So Sarkozy, I said mid to low post, but he expanded his range a little bit, stepped outside the three-point line, and tied this game up at 9 apiece.
Well, he had an entire summer and fall to think about what happened last winter and how they came just short of reaching the sectional finals as Heron drains an impressive shot over the outstretched arm of Zangini.
So stops on a dime there.
You know that Sarkozy has been working on his outside game. You have all summer to think about it. You're just on the court shooting, and we saw it in that 3 that he drained just now.
And that really adds a whole new element, not only to his game, but to the entire team.
Absolutely.
Because now they have a lot more space to work with, a lot more lanes to dribble drive. So big move by Sarkozy, being able to shoot that 3-ball.
Roosevelt does a good job moving the ball around the outside. That shot is just short by Stevens, and here come the Tigers the other way. Stutter pass by Renner, and Zangini was driving the baseline. Unfortunately, kicked it out of bounds just before he went up with the shot.
And Zangini, the leading scorer, he hasn't had a good start to this game as coach subs him out.
So Carver going with the sophomore Ryan McIntyre alongside Renner, and bringing in the junior Thomas Plunkett, who got plenty of playing time last season, in part due to the illness by Sarkozy, but also he definitely deserved that time playing as well as he did throughout the season last year. Great harassment by McIntyre. Plunkett collapses over, and Heron with a great pass. Actually, I think that was De La Cruz on that pass. Martin looking to get the ball into Sarkozy, can't find him. McIntyre back to Martin, knifes his way inside, and the floater is good.
Nice little floater by Tommy Martin over the outstretched arms of a Sharks defender. Soft touch.
Mamaroneck definitely with the size advantage here, Elijah. See if they can take advantage of it throughout the rest of the first half. Great floater in the lane there by Stevens to push the lead back up to 4 for the Sharks.
Yeah, I know at the end of the quarter, Coach Carver's going to want to talk to his team about the defense and how easy it's been for the Sharks to drive thus far.
Oh, they say that Renner picked up his pivot foot as he faked that pass, so travel is the call, and Roosevelt will have the last 35 seconds of this quarter. We'll see if they drain the time down, and it looks like that is what they will do. Good job there by Renner on the steal. He looks to push it up, finds Tommy Martin. Oh, beautiful Euro step in the lane, and the basket is good. 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Oh, and a beautiful swat from Sarkozy with 0.7 seconds left in the first.
Big swat by Sarkozy, getting the block to really put the exclamation point on the great first quarter he's had.
Roosevelt able to inbound the ball. They get it up on the backboard, but the shot does not have a chance. So at the end of the first quarter, Mamaroneck finds themselves down by 2 to Roosevelt. The score, 15-13. We'll be back in just a moment on LMC Varsity Sports.
Back here for this second quarter, as this one is inbounded to Renner, and she tries to drive. He's being harassed by Heron. This one swung over to Tommy Martin on the wing. Up top, swung back over to Renner as Martin makes a nice little basket cut. And this one's kicked out to Renner as he drains a 3 to start off the second quarter.
Elijah, it was a fast-paced first quarter, and it seems like they have not slowed down at all to start here in the second.
Definitely. As Heron drains another mid-range jumper, he's been pretty automatic from that area. So this one swung out top to Plunkett. He swings over to Martin. This one passed down at the elbow, and a good shot from McIntyre as Mamaroneck regains the lead. Some nifty ball handling shown off by Heron. That's Coach Stevens.
Coach Stevens was not pleased with the positioning there on that transition opportunity for their team.
Not at all. And he'll get a man into the game. Number 31. Well, he told him he was going to come in, but sat him back down. This one inbounded into Dela Cruz. He passed this one over to Ferreira, and this is a blocking foul. And this one is against McIntyre.
Tough foul for McIntyre there. I saw what he was trying to do. It was a smart play, but he just didn't have the room. So really, while I love the intention, it was ill-advised on the attempt because he was so far under the basket. But again, good idea there. And it wasn't a shooting foul, so they'll just take it out.
So Roosevelt, he has a man in the corner, and this is Dela Cruz, and he drains a 3-ball. Renner takes it across the timeline, passes it up to McIntyre. He thinks about it. Passes it down to Sarkozy. And this is a flop and a blocking foul called.
The ref was not going to be fooled by that flop there. You could feel Sarkozy backing the player down, and he just went right to the ground, trying to force the call. The ref was having none of it.
And although it was a good call, I think it kind of hindered Sarkozy a little bit, as he would have had a wide open layup. As he has it, he swings this one over.
Great job there by Zangini to save that pass.
Renner up top. He drives to the basket, and he's fouled. And he'll be at the line shooting 2. So a good drive from Ethan Renner.
First on Stevens.
Like the sportsmanship there from Heron helping Renner up. Have to imagine in all these years in Southern Westchester, those 2 point guards have faced each other more than once.
Definitely. Heron being a senior.
To match Renner, exactly, right? They've probably played AAU and travel basketball against each other for years now.
It's always good playing against your friends. It's all love off the court,
right?
On the court, no mercy.
Not at all.
So Renner drains 2, and that was a near double dribble or a carry. But Roosevelt keeps possession, and this was a travel, and this will be going back the other way.
So a bit of a makeup call there. That call should have been called, but they missed the first one, and they weren't going to let that second one go.
Definitely not. They might have let it go had that first play happened.
If that first play had not happened, maybe that second call doesn't happen.
So Shane Smith cross court to Zangini, and he drives to the basket, getting his first 2 points of the game.
Love what Zangini did there. He hadn't made his outside shots yet, so he goes to the lane to find the basket.
So the rebound by Smith. He outlets it to Renner, and he has Shane Smith. He passes Sarkozy at the high post. This one off the back of the iron. passes this one up to Stevens. And this is a kick out to Dela Cruz. He puts up a three. This one is off the iron. And Sarkozy grabs the rebound. Renner pushing the ball up the court. This one passed to Zangini, and he is fouled in the corner.
So the interesting situation on the shot before by Sarkozy, you had Shane Smith, actually one of the furthest players out on the outside of the three-point line. So when you have Zangini and Martin and Renner out there as well, there's no one left to rebound Sarkozy's shot.
His first team's fourth.
And sometimes that's the problem with having a lot of shooters. You don't get a lot of offensive rebounding.
Great job there on the inbound by Shane Smith, taking that inbound and immediately going up strong with the shot.
So back and forth second quarter as Mamaroneck has the lead by 4 now. This one is out of bounds and it's Mamaroneck basketball.
So like we said, the frenetic pace has kept up and it really has favored Mamaroneck.
Coach Carver coming out pressing here in the second quarter. And now his team has a 4-point lead. With Renner trying to get it across the timeline. He does. Heron still harassing him. This one passed down low, but fumbled.
Tough pass to Plunkett. It was a little bit at his feet there. Zangini with a good idea, just a little rushed in the pass.
As Heron still has it out top. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. He gets a pick. He swings this one over in the corner to Stevens. He swings it back up top to Heron. He thinks about a shot. He tries to make a move, crosses left, crosses right. And this one is out of control and out of bounds. This one past to Plunkett. He goes up for a layup, and the Tigers have a 6-point lead. Their biggest of the game.
Fantastic body control there by Plunkett, going up high for the pass, and then coming back down, up, back, right back up like a pogo stick.
So the decision from Coach Carver to put some pressure on the Sharks is paying off. His team now has a 6-point lead. As Stevens drives, pulls up, and he misses. Rebound into Heron. He was nearly fouled, and this is Zangini as he takes this one to the basket and finishes. And now, Coach Stevens wants a timeout. He calls for a 30-second, so Steven I will stay here. But the Tigers coming out strong in the second quarter.
I think that's a 12-0 run now to give them the 28-20 lead. Love the body control as well there by Zangini, able to shield the ball from the defender and still have the presence and ability to get it back up on the glass with the English to get the ball to go down.
Yep. Zangini struggled a little bit in the first quarter. Coach Carver took him out, let him regroup. And Zangini has came back in the second quarter and has been a difference maker.
It's going to be an interesting transition, Elijah, from last year's team to this year's team, trying to see who steps in on the scoring side for Bader, and then from the point guard side, losing Isaiah Thomas and James Mineta. Ethan Renner and Ryan McIntyre are definitely going to have their shoes full.
And a nice little fake pass from Heron as he gets one off the backboard and closes the gap to 6.
Just to correct the metaphor, their hands full, filling the shoes of those great players that graduated last year.
And this one taken in and a good pass to Stevens. And the Sharks come out of the timeout on 4-on-1. This one passed up to Smith. This is Renner taking it to the basket and a near and one. It'll be Renner at the line shooting 2.
So this is what we talked about in the pregame, Elijah. These two teams love to play similar types of games, and it creates a lot of fast-paced play, a lot of fast break opportunities off the pressure, and that's what we're seeing here in the first and second quarter. We're already at 28-24, and there's still 3:24 to go in the first half.
Yep, and the Sharks came out to start the game pressing, and then you had Coach Carver realizing that it would be beneficial for his team to press as well. So now the pace has really picked up, and teams are getting buckets.
And this is one of the things that Coach Carver is most excited about with this roster. There's all the versatility he has, going all the way up to and including the 6'5 Sarkozy and the 6'3 Plunkett. They can play. You saw Plunkett was guarding Heron on the possession previous to this one. So that type of versatility allows Carver to do a multitude of things with his offense and his defense.
Most definitely. And that foul was on Shane Smith, as they called a blocking foul on him on the sideline. This one inbounded to Stevens.
Shane Smith, one of the quintessential glue guys in basketball. Not your main offensive scoring threat, but he'll get every rebound set, every pick, pass the ball crisply, and play fantastic, tenacious defense.
He's a typical football player that can play basketball. He does all the dirty work, and the team wouldn't be the same without him.
And not only that, looking at Union College to play lacrosse, so he is a three-sport athlete and proves it every day.
As Martin misses a three in the corner, he saves this one in the Sarkozy. Great, a perfect pass from Tommy Martin. And another layup from Sarkozy.
I'd like to see that play in Coach Carver's playbook. Where exactly do you point to on the balls going out of bounds? Tommy Martin, with this tremendous leaping ability, throws it up to Sarkozy, who's in the lane, and then lays it in.
So Sarkozy in double figures now to start this game. And that was a questionable foul call against the Tigers. I think it was on Renner. As the Sharks try to inbound this one, it's into Heron. As he gets this one across the timeline. Tommy Martin right in his face. He tries to make a couple moves. He drives to the basket, fades away, gets the shot, but a travel call by the referee. And Heron wants a foul call as he thinks he was hitting the head.
Felt that the blow to the head is what caused him to take that extra step. Frankly, I'd have to agree. He got a little bit of a shove there, which caused that extra step. Beautiful shot, too.
And this one is deflected and stolen by Jordan Torres as he turns this one right back over. And then now it's Martin as he passes this one over to Sarkozy. And with the soft touch, Sarkozy scores again.
The baseline 8-footer. To me, one of the toughest shots in basketball.
Same exact thing.
More tenacious defense from these Tigers, causing another turnover to keep that lead intact. It seemed like Roosevelt was storming back with the frenetic pace that they were at, but still 34-24 Mamaroneck.
And that's really what you have to do, especially in a fast-paced game like basketball. Teams are going to make a run, but you have to withstand the storm and just keep doing what you do. And that's what the Tigers have done thus far. And this one pass over the top to Sarkozy. Good pass from Martin. And Sarkozy gets another layup. And at this rate, Sarkozy might get 40. And Sarkozy takes the charge. And he's been everywhere, all over the court. Buckets, blocks, charges. What can't this man do?
You're starting to see the benefit of having these players play varsity as a sophomore. Tommy Martin, Ethan Renner showing poise and maturity as they run the offense while also playing tenacious defense. And then Thomas Plunkett, unfazed as he comes in as a junior, getting plenty of playing time last year as a sophomore himself.
This one pass over to the corner to Sarkozy again. This one just short. And I know Sarkozy really wanted that one. So this one passed up to Dela Cruz. He passes it back to Heron. And he sets up the offense. 4 high for Roosevelt. This one passed over to Dela Cruz. Back up to Heron. This one unable to be controlled. Back to Heron. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And Stevens tries to make a move. He's being hassled by Martin, but this one passed out to Dela Cruz and he drains a three.
Number 3, Jonathan Dela Cruz.
So after the three ball for Dela Cruz, we have a timeout Coach Carver. And the Tigers are still in good shape, up 36-27 with 53 seconds left to go in this first half. So back here with 53 seconds left to go, as Renner gets this one across the timeline, they bait him into a trap. So a pass to the middle to Martin, pass cross court to Plunkett underneath. As Zengini made the pass underneath the Plunkett, he was fouled. He could be at the line shooting 2.
Crucial opportunity here, Elijah, as Plunkett has the opportunity to extend it back to a 10 or even 11-point lead. They want to try and keep it to double-digit leads here as they get into halftime. gives them true control in the second half.
Right, this game, like you said, this is a crucial part of the game. They can either go up 5 more or the Sharks can close the gap by 5.
You would hate to see the Sharks here. If you're a Mamaroneck fan, you'd hate to see them cut into this lead and knock it down to 6 or 5 or even 4 with 42 seconds left. That is a completely different start to the second half. Ryan McIntyre, another sophomore playing varsity here. He will get that experience that will help in future years, but he is ready to go this year, Elijah. He's been a fantastic ball handler, dribble driver, and shooter all throughout his youth basketball career. He's also a fantastic baseball player. Started as a freshman at shortstop in Mamaroneck's run to the sectional championship game. They lost, unfortunately, in that finale.
So McIntyre, all-around athlete, who have another shot this year on the baseball field.
They look to do tremendous things this year. The baseball team, 3-time state champs.
And this is a 3-second violation call, or actually an arm ball.
But first things first, let's focus on basketball.
Right.
This team has very high hopes, Elijah, as they try and carry forward the momentum they had from last year.
And as you see, Coach Carver is always building for the future, bringing up certain guys like McIntyre as sophomores. And now you got guys like Tommy Martin as a senior, has a lot of experience, and he's ready to go and lead his team to a championship. So this one will be inbounded into Heron. 18 seconds left to go. This one put up by Dela Cruz off the back iron. And now McIntyre tries to get it across the timeline up to Sarkozy. This one picked up by Dela Cruz. And with 4 seconds left, this is Stevens. He pulls up and he misses. So after the miss from Stevens, Mamaroneck will go into halftime with a 38-27 lead in a very entertaining first half, Steve.
It was a great back and forth half, 38-27. That shapes up to be a pretty high-scoring affair. Elijah, I can't wait to see what the second half brings us.
So we'll be right back with the second half of play on LMC Varsity Sports. So we're back here with LMC Varsity Sports as Heron takes this one across the timeline to start off the second half. This one passed over to Dela Cruz as he gets this one in the post to Stevens, but this one is deflected and gathered by Martin. And now it's Renner as Mamaroneck is on the attack. This one passed right into Sarkozy, but he's heckled by Heron. Now it's Martin trying to find a lane to the basket. Passes it back up top with Zingini over to Renner. He pops a 3, and this one off the back iron. And this is an over the back call. That'll be the Sharks basketball.
Shane, a little overly aggressive there on that offensive rebound opportunity. You could see, Elijah, the imbalance to the offense there. Too many people on one side, ended up getting it to Shane in the middle, and he found Tommy on the right wing, but they weren't able to take advantage of that. And Ethan Renner ends up putting up the 3-pointer that does not fall.
So Dela Cruz picks up his dribble, passes it over to Heron. Screen set by Torres. This one passed over and fumbled out of bounds by Braz. It'll be Tigers basketball. Shane Smith will be inbounding.
Coach Carver last year had a little bit of a problem early in the season because he had so much talent and depth on his roster. He wasn't sure how all the rotations would play out. When do you get Renner in for Mineta or Thomas? But now it seems like his rotation early on is much clearer.
So Renner tracks that one down, and he is fouled after the block from Stevens. And it'll be Renner at the line shooting 2.
He's got a lot of capable depth on his bench. Will Webb is a very talented scorer and shooter. He's got Quinn Reevey also on the bench, as well as Gabe Tomczyk. A lot of junior talent, but it doesn't look like he's going to have to dip into that too much because Gavin Zingini has stepped up so capably in his role to go along with Tommy Martin and Ethan Renner. Ryan McIntyre, as well as a sophomore, finding his role as well.
And they really handle the ball by committee, those 3. no real true point guard.
Right.
So they all just work together.
And with the front line of Sarkozy and Smith and Plunkett, and then you have Aiden French, the outstanding football player, who comes in with his 6'3" frame.
And Delacruz misses that one. Rebound by Smith as he outlets it to Renner. Renner drives. This one swung over to Zangini. He pops a three, and this one is off the front arm. Up to Stevens. He makes a move. Tries to get to the basket. Delacruz looks for a lane. Good defense from Smith. But Stevens now has the ball in the corner. He looks for a pass. This one passed out to Heron. This one is off the back arm. Rebound by Smith. Outlet to Renner. Renner up to Sarkozy. Layup Sarkozy. And one. He'll be at the line too.
Sarkozy from Ethan Renner.
So a great sequence of events there for the Tigers. And it ends in a layup and an and one from Sarkozy as he tries to complete the three-point play.
Elijah, it's such a subtle reality here, but Shane Smith does so much for this team without really looking to generate any offense himself. And there is something comforting about that for the other players on the floor to know that Smith is always going to be looking to distribute and pass. Means that Zangini in the corner doesn't give up on the idea of shooting that three once the ball finds Shane Smith, because he knows Smith is going to be looking to move it and make that extra pass.
Yep. You look at the way Shane Smith plays football, he's a winner. You look at the way he plays basketball, he plays to win. Everything he does. So that's why he does all the little things on the court. He sets the screens, he gets the rebounds. Has a great move, spin by Stevens. But Shane Smith is really the glue guy to this Mamaroneck team. As Roosevelt tries to put on some pressure, this one up to Zangini. He makes a move, he gets to the basket. The tip by Martin, no good. And a rebound by Ferreira. It's now Stevens. As he gets it across the timeline and over to Heron, over to Delacruz. As he drives to the middle, but he is stopped back out to Heron. Stevens looks to reset the offense.
Really was a next level move by Zangini there going along the baseline. Unfortunately, he had to finish with his left, which is a much more difficult thing to do when your righty is coming in baseline, floating in like that, and then have to flick it up with your left and get the proper English as well.
Stevens at the line, shooting two.
Second team foul.
Mamaroneck has had a good start to this second half. Now up 14.
Coach Carver always prides himself on making sure his team is very well conditioned. Now, I'm sure those of you that have played organized sports can read between the lines and know that that means that his practices are brutal. But that does pay dividends, as you see here. Mamaroneck is not letting up at all, as they're up still by 12 here with 4:41 remaining, but their energy level and output has not slowed at all.
This is Zangini passing it into the high post to Martin. Back to the corner to Zangini. He drives, two dribble pull up off the glass, and it's good. Nice two dribble pull up by Zangini as he puts his team back up by 14. It's now Stevens as he looks to go to work against Zangini.
The bank was open for Zangini.
And this is a blocking foul going against Shane Smith. And this is an and one from Stevens. And he'll be at the line trying to complete the three-point play.
You know, that is an unfortunate outcome there. I suspect, have to look at the replay, but I would suspect that the call was made because Smith actually backed up an extra half step after the player went in the air. So he wasn't actually set, even though he didn't encroach on the player's space, so it still should have been a charge. Because he didn't actually remain fully stationary, it ends up becoming a block.
So Stevens misses the free throw to complete the three-point play. Now it's up to Martin, and they have numbers. This one passed over to Sarkozy, and he finishes another layup.
Sarkozy from Tommy Martin.
Roosevelt playing well, Eliza. They just cannot seem to close this lead.
Yeah, Mamaroneck really playing good, solid basketball, executing on offense, really scoring at will here to start the second half. And that's why they're now up 14 points. And this looks like a timeout call from Coach Stevens, as he's not liking his team's offense. No movement, no cutting.
30 seconds.
So he wants to talk things over with his team for 30 seconds. And we'll stay here, Steve.
On that point, Elijah, you know, it really seems like, well, yes, they were sort of static there in that possession and maybe one or two other possessions. They've really been moving the ball well for the most part and getting some good open looks. They just haven't been going down for Roosevelt, and so that has been the difference. Mamaroneck has made their shots and capitalized on their opportunities where Roosevelt has not.
Yeah, I think Roosevelt's going to have to pick up the defensive intensity even more, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to score against this Mamaroneck defense.
As right as you are there, Elijah, the problem there is Mamaroneck has shown an excellent ability to break the press, which is what Roosevelt is probably going to be trying to employ here in the late stages of the third, going into the fourth.
I agree. So maybe a man-to-man, full-court defense,
right?
Something to get a spark going on his team.
And then cutting off some passing lanes,
right.
Get some fast break opportunities going,
exactly.
And take momentum back.
As Coach Stevens tries to energize his team, and Zachary Dempster is at the table looking to check in. So we have a bit of a delay.
There was some moisture on the court they had to take care of.
So Stevens gets this one in, and it's deflected by Zingini. That'll be Roosevelt taking the ball out in the deep corner. So Heron comes out, Dempster comes in. It looks like Coach Stevens wants to get Heron a blow before the fourth quarter so they can make a run.
Renner and Zingini switched up their men.
Mamaroneck still applying pressure as Martin chases Dempster all the way across the court, and he does a great job forcing the turnover as Dempster travels, and it's now Mamaroneck basketball.
It's a truism that Coach Carver knows as well as anyone, and we've seen it employed year after year, is that even a good dribbler, a good ball handler, is going to get rattled in a trap or a press.
And this is an errant pass from Plunkett.
And so Carver has used that to his advantage. As you saw there, the player had a very good handle on the ball, had to collect it and pick up his dribble, tried to step through the trap, and he ended up picking up his pivot foot, and that was the travel.
Yeah, and a lot of times there's more to ball handling than just being able to dribble. It's your ball security, the strength that you have with the ball in the triple threat.
And staying in triple threat mode, exactly. For those of you at home who don't know what Elijah's talking about, that's being able to dribble, shoot, or pass at any time. If you pick up your dribble and move your pivot foot, then all of a sudden you're not in a good shooting position. You've taken away one of the threats, and you've already taken away the second one with the dribble, and then you become only a passer, and you're more predictable, and that's when people cut off your passing lanes, and you get fast break opportunities the other way.
Right. Also, being a good ball handler is knowing your personnel, knowing who on the court can do what, knowing who can help you out dribbling, knowing who to pass.
Giving it to them in the right spot too. Yeah.
So it's a lot that goes into being the point guard of a team, or just being a flat-out ball handler. As Renner gets this one up across the timeline to Martin. Martin kicks this one out to Zingini, and Zingini travels.
Zingini stopped, but he had to have dragged his pivot foot a little bit there. The ball was in his hands just a tad too long. One of those assumption plays that often gets called that way.
So Roosevelt looking to close this lead before halftime with 2:50.
End of the third,
yeah,
right.
Before the end of the third. With 2:45 left to go. And that was a near travel in the corner. As Dempster makes a drive, a good pass. And this layup is put up and missed, but the follow from Dela Cruz makes this a 10-point game.
We saw so much scoring in the first two quarters that it seemed like it was still the second quarter.
So Mamaroneck not having too much trouble breaking the press of the Sharks. As this one passed down to Plunkett, as he tries to spin on his pivot foot, but he'll be called for travel.
And that is, again, one of the problems with this frenetic pace is that you have a tendency to rush in executing the plays that you normally would have no problem and would never think to pick up your pivot foot. In that situation, Plunkett a little bit rushed because of the pace, and he ended up moving his pivot foot ever so slightly.
So this is another and one
Basket is good. Count the basket number 13,
from Stevens. He'll be at the line shooter one. And just as we talked about at the end of the first half, Steve, this is a pivotal part of the game as we're getting closer to the fourth quarter. Mamaroneck trying to pull away, and the Sharks trying to stay close. So that was a big and one here from Stevens as he looks to complete the three-point play.
Cutting it to a 7-point deficit for Roosevelt would be huge here.
And this without Heron on the court. And just as I say his name, he's up off the bench.
Coach Stevens heard you as well.
So Heron back in for Stevens, and Stevens gets a blow before the fourth quarter. And the Sharks will stay in pressure mode. 1-3-1. And this one broken again as Martin goes in for the layup. He misses, but Sarkozy tries to get the tip in. He can't get that. But this one deflected off of Roosevelt out of bounds, and it'll be the Tigers basketball.
Great execution on that press break, getting McIntyre the ball in the center of the court, gets it over to Tommy Martin, can't get it to go down. Sarkozy almost tips it in.
Sarkozy gets the roll on that one, and the Tigers back up by 9. Heron gets it across the timeline. He gets a screen, tries to step back, but the length of Sarkozy, he's unable to get the shot off. But this is a good shot from De La Cruz as he gets the roll.
Great decision by De La Cruz to pull up there on the baseline.
Sarkozy passes one to Zangini to Martin. Martin off the glass, and a timeout from Coach Carver as he wants to talk things over with his team so they can get a couple stops.
You can see it right there, Elijah, as we take another look at this play. Coming straight down the middle, you can tell they practiced it endlessly, getting that pass to Tommy Martin, who normally you would think he's coming in a little too hot there. But he's able to pull up, settle himself, and lay it in off the glass cleanly, like that was what he planned to do the whole time.
Right, Tommy Martin playing very under control, and Coach Carver calls the timeout. I'm pretty sure he wants to talk to his team to make sure they close out this third quarter on a good note so they can come into the fourth quarter with some momentum and pull away with this basketball game.
Just like the end of the second quarter, want to make sure you settle the team down.
Right.
It seems insignificant as there is another 8 minutes to play after this, but it really does make a difference if you squander those leads at the end of quarters. 51-42 sounds a lot different than 51-47, for example.
Right.
If they don't score and Roosevelt hits a 3 and then makes a runner at the buzzer, that becomes a completely different dynamic going into the fourth. So you want to make sure you stay sound on defense and execute on offense.
Right. So this one inbounded to Heron. Minute 10 left to go here in this third quarter. As he passes this one over to De La Cruz. De La Cruz in, and the bunny is missed by Ferreira. And that would have been a big basket there for the Sharks. But they're unable to convert. This is Zangini as he loses this one out of bounds. And this one ruled Mamaroneck basketball.
Good job by Renner to handle the full court pressure there and still execute a solid pass to the wing. Now he'll have to do it again from down on the baseline.
So Renner inbounding to Martin. Martin sneaks in behind the Sharks defender and he gets the layup.
Renner has such fantastic court vision. It doesn't just have to be from the top of the key. It can be from the baseline, as you just saw there, the cutting Martin come in for the score.
This one passed up and the layup missed. I believe by Nakor Smalls.
I'm not sure if they called that on Renner or Sarkozy. Yeah, it was Renner. He's a little mystified by that. He doesn't feel that he made any physical contact with that rebounder whatsoever. But nonetheless, there is a foul on the play.
Yeah, good respectful conversation going on between Sarkozy and the referee. As Dela Cruz inbounds just went into the corner. This one swung out to Heron, back over to Dela Cruz. Heron makes a fake pass. He tries to get that one to Ferreira. It goes through the hands. And Zangini kicks this one out to Martin. Martin pulls up at the elbow. Rebound from Renner. And Renner brings it back out with 12 seconds left to go. So Renner looking to get a bucket here. He pulls up for three. And this one is off the back iron. And a rebound from the Shark. And that'll be the end of the third quarter. Very solid third quarter for the Tigers as they're up 53-42. And we'll be right back with the fourth quarter.
So here we are. Mamaroneck will be going right to left on your TV screen. Ryan McIntyre takes the inbound, gets it over to Renner. Great ball movement. Tommy Martin finishes it off. And just like that, it's 55-42.
Good cut by Tommy Martin. Nice little basket cut. He gets that soft touch off the glass. And a good way to start the fourth quarter for the Tigers.
Nice three-pointer from De La Cruz. Cuts into that lead, knocking it back down to 10. Yep, I saw that shove from Tommy Martin to try and give himself some space. And it looks like the ref saw it too. Calls the foul, and now Roosevelt is in the bonus. That could be trouble for Mamaroneck, as Roosevelt, the next foul, will be able to start putting points on the board without taking time off the clock, which is any team facing a deficit, their best friend. And the other best friend is a three-point shot.
Right.
So just like that, it's a 7-point game here in the early goings of the fourth quarter.
Big through ball there from Heron. And a good pass from McIntyre to Sarkozy.
Great job by McIntyre, finding Sarkozy cutting from the left. And Heron now brings it back across the timeline for Roosevelt. Oh, De La Cruz is feeling it, stroking it from the right corner.
And you see the intensity on defense automatically goes up when De La Cruz gets a bucket. As Martin gets a nice little floater off the glass.
Breaking the press has been crucial for Mamaroneck, because once they get it across half court, the scoring has been easy. This is obviously Roosevelt's strategy to try and force them into turnovers and to score threes on the other end. Offensive foul is the call. Zangini plants his feet as he predicts De La Cruz was going to finish all the way at the rim, and sure enough, that's what happened.
Second personal, 13.
Substitutions by Roosevelt as Ferreira comes in, as well as Jordan Torres. Mamaroneck stands pat as Renner passes it over the top to Zangini. Travel is the call. Unfortunately, yes, that is the correct call. Zangini, frankly, is fortunate not to have a twisted ankle there, as he came down on the foot of the defender. Push off there by De La Cruz as McIntyre gets bodied up, and Mamaroneck will get possession back, up 8 with 6:03 remaining.
That's what Roosevelt doesn't want. They don't want silly turnovers like that. They need every possession they can get. With 6 minutes left to go, they're trying to get back in this ball game.
Great pass inside to Sarkozy. The shot is altered, but he is fouled on the play and will go to the line for 2.
Sarkozy still imposing his will down low. He's the biggest guy on the court, and it's been evident as he's been getting layup after layup, even stretching it out to the three-point line, shooting over defenders. So he's having a big night. He's been a real difference maker here in this game.
Friendly roll there for Sarkozy as he gives Mamaroneck their 60th point of the evening. It's now a 9-point lead. Off the front rim with the second one, but Zangini with the offensive rebound. Now the three from the corner, no good. Zangini gets a hand on it. Sharkisy gets a hand on it. And now it falls to Ferreira, and Roosevelt comes back the other way. Good job by McIntyre to knock the ball away.
So Roosevelt still trying to push the pace. A little bit too fast that time, as Dela Cruz trying to get it up to Stevens.
Stevens looking to inbound it. Good job there by Zangini to knock it away. Tommy Martin thought it should have been a 5-second violation. Gets it into Herron. Little bit of movement on that pick up top. The shot is off the rim, no good, and Zangini coming the other way. Good job to avoid the defender. Sharkisy is fouled there as he tries to get it out to Zangini for the three. And that is the 6th team foul by Roosevelt. One more and they will be in the bonus.
The personal foul number 23, Jordan Torres. Third on Torres. 6 on the team.
This is the point in the game right now where Mamaroneck really needs to keep up the pressure and try to expand on this lead. Just keep letting the team hang around. They've been hitting some big threes, so they keep letting them hang around.
Gorgeous offensive rebound by Tommy Martin, and he is fouled on the putback and will go to the line for 2.
Good strong rebound from Martin.
He skied high for that rebound, and when he came back up, the hand got in the way and he was fouled.
17 fouls.
So both teams now with 17 fouls, means we'll be in the bonus for the rest of the game.
And Tommy Martin is another one of those glue guys like Shane Smith, as Shane Smith gets set to check back in. So Martin's another one of those glue guys that plays defense, rebounds, and just does all the dirty work. Whatever necessary to win, as he knocks down the first free throw.
So Coach Carver back to his starting rotation of starting 5 rather, with 5:12 remaining as Tommy Martin sinks both to extend the lead back up to 11. So to remind you, it's Sharkisy in the middle with Zangini and Smith. Renner and Martin are the guards.
So Shiloh Rogers just checked in. See now has the ball. He tries to pull up.
Good denial by Zangini with the block on that play. Looking for a pass in the lane, can't find it. Gets it over to Smalls. Now the 3 from the corner is no good by Rivera. Sharkisy all the way down low, turns, fires off the glass and in.
And the reason why Sharkisy is getting so many layups is because he's rim running. He's getting up and down the floor offensively and defensively, putting himself in good position to make plays.
Great job there by Herron to get his own rebound after penetrating all the way to the rim. And Coach Stevens calls a timeout. So we'll be back in just a moment on LMC Varsity Sports. So we are back. You can hear the Queen thunder clapping as 4:34 remains in the game. And Smalls knocks Shane Smith to the ground. I believe is that Smith on the ground or Sharkisy?
No, Sharkisy.
Sharkisy ends up on his keister. And the foul is called on Smalls, giving possession to Mamaroneck.
Yeah, Small is not small at all, as he knocked down the big Sharkisy.
Mamaroneck in no real hurry, except when you're being pressed, it has a tendency to rush everything.
And that's what Roosevelt wants to do. They want to speed the game up, get as many possessions as they can to try to cut into this lead.
Good rebound there by Smith. Takes a few dribbles and gets it over to Zangini. And now Tommy Martin will settle things up top.
Good decision from Martin, slowing things down, getting the offense set up, and most importantly, running some time off the clock.
You have another 20 seconds to chew on that clock right here. Get it down to 3:50. Even lower.
That would have been a big three from Zangini.
Zangini's shot has been off just a little bit here today, but he has made his presence felt in many other ways. Driving to the lane, playing great defense, passing very well, and he scored a few times as well. Good passing there from Heron over to Smalls. And it's back to an 11-point game. Mamaroneck once again gets it all the way to the rack. Foul and the shot as Zangini takes a shot to the nether region just as Zangini puts the shot up and in.
And Roosevelt, although Mamaroneck is breaking the press, they're getting 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. I think Roosevelt is okay with that as long as the pace is still high.
Right, and they've missed a couple of those bunny shots too. So, and here the clock is stopped, so even if he scores, which he misses on that free throw, playing right into what Roosevelt wants. Of course, this is still a large 13-point lead that they have to overcome with just over 3 minutes remaining. Oh, but putbacks like that by Rivera are just what Roosevelt needed.
Good follow-up from Rivera.
Great attempt from Zangini is no good. The putback by Martin is pure.
I see, that's what Roosevelt wants. They want missed layups and quick shots from Mamaroneck, but offensive rebounds and putbacks are daggers by guys like Tommy Martin.
Ferreira comes in for Shiloh Rogers. As Heron inbounds the ball, he'll bring it up with just over 2.5 remaining in this game. It's 68-55 Mamaroneck. They are in control. Great job of defense and patience there by Mamaroneck as the rebound caroms over to Smith. Renner brings it across the timeline, gets it over to Zangini. Now Sharkazy up to Smith. Zangini passes up on the three-pointer from the corner, drives it to the lane once again, and is fouled and will go to the line with 2:09 left.
Yeah, Zangini knows that his shot has been off today, so he's been steady attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line, and just finding a way to make an impact on the offensive side of the floor.
All signs of a heady veteran leader as Zangini goes from part-time player last year to team captain and team leader this season. And if this Mamaroneck squad has any hopes of getting back to the county center, which we all hope the games will be in the county center once again, they're definitely going to need the kind of senior leadership and performance that Zangini has provided them, as well as players like Shane Smith and Will Sharkazy. This is a fantastically balanced team for this run that they have in 2018-2019. And Elijah, as we take a look at this senior class and junior class as a whole, we saw the success they had on the football field. We saw the success they had on the soccer field. We see the success that the wrestling team has. We see the success that the basketball team has. The boys sports program here in Mamaroneck has not been this strong in many years, and now leading into lacrosse and baseball, we really are going to have a special 2018-2019 season, and that's just talking about the boys sports.
Most definitely. The coaches for the boys, they're doing a great job with all the programs. You see a lot of public school programs, a lot of guys have to wait their turn, so they may sit on the bench their freshman, sophomore, and even junior year, and wait until that senior year. And by that time, they've soaked up all the knowledge that they could. They've had a lot of experience playing with their teammates, and by their senior year, they're ready to go. And we see that evident with all these sports programs here in Mamaroneck.
Definitely. And to give equal time or just time for the girls. The girls field hockey team made it all the way to the state semifinals this season, sectional champs once again here in Section 1.
Congratulations to them.
And the basketball team looks poised to have a very successful campaign with a lot of talent on the roster themselves. Oh, a beautiful bank shot once again from Zangini. He has used the glass masterfully here today.
Took him a little while to get warmed up with 2 minutes left to go in the game, but I think he's feeling it now.
Now with the 16-point lead for Mamaroneck, you can feel the desperation from Roosevelt. Good rebound from Zangini. Gets it up to Renner. Sharkisy. Oh, beautiful tip from Martin. I think Renner was hoping that Heron would let Sharkisy go and we might see some action above the rim. But no matter, with 1:20 remaining, it's now an 18-point lead for Mamaroneck. And another tap-in. This time it is Sharkisy following up Martin. Last time it was Martin following up Sharkisy.
Great teamwork.
Both of those players are looking to get in-game dunks here for the first time this season. You know they can taste it. Another defensive rebound from Zangini as we climb under 50 seconds, 50.9 remaining as Renner is fouled and will go to the line.
That is his 5th personal foul.
Looks like Mamaroneck's going to come away with the win here. Now being up by 20, I didn't even realize they were up by that much at this point.
And you know, I got to tell you, Elijah, it's hard to really pinpoint who the player of the game is here.
Yeah, it's tough. I say Sharkisy.
Sharkisy has had a fantastic game. He's made his presence felt throughout the court as Carver is taking his seniors out of the game. In the game now is Alex Verney and Aiden French and Will Webb. Coming in momentarily will be Quinn Reevy and Gabe Tomczyk.
So a good outing from the seniors on Mamaroneck as they'll improve to 4-0,
3-0 on the year.
Okay.
Heron drives in the lane, gets it up on the rim. No good. French with his first rebound of the game gets it to Verney. And Verney finds his fellow sophomore. Oh, no, sorry, that is Will Webb in the game now. Webb with some nifty dribbling. Gets it over to Reevy for 3. Too strong off the back of the rim and no good. Reevy at 6'5" is a deadly outside shooter.
So it looks like Reevy is going to be the predecessor to, well, not the predecessor, but the aftermath of Sharkisy. So I guess he's next in line to be that 6'5",
yes,
sharp shooting, rim running, big guy.
That is what Carver hopes. Like I said, there is a lot of talent on this Mamaroneck roster. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out as the season progresses. Mamaroneck definitely one of the contenders for the sectional title, but the road always goes through Mount Vernon.
And they always have a strong program, as they have multiple guys going D1 year after year for the most part.
So that will do it here from Palmer Gym at Mamaroneck High School. The final score of Mamaroneck 77, Roosevelt 57. We'll be back in just a minute with a post-game interview and a recap on today's game. For Elijah Wares, I'm Stephen Astis. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm here with co-captain Will Sharkisy. Will, 33 points on the night, your 3rd game of the season. Take us through what this game was like and where you see the team now and where you see your team going in the future.
I mean, it was a good win. Took us to 3-0. There's definitely a lot of things that we need to work on. They made a ton of points, and I mean, we're just kind of prepping now for our next game against Spring Valley. I mean, just really take this as a lesson for all the things that we did wrong this early in the season. It's nice to get a win under our belt, but just in the next game.
You guys were having to break the press all game long. Is that something you work on a lot? Because it really opened up the scoring opportunities for you and Tommy Martin.
Yeah, we watch film before every game. We scout teams, so we knew that they were going to come at us with zone press. So we practiced that a lot yesterday. It really paid off. We got a lot of layups. That's how Coach says the only way to take a team out of the press is to score layups, and we kept on doing it, and they didn't take it off, so we kept scoring.
You guys came so close to surpassing really any goal that you could have had for your team last year. Came up a little bit short, but you played so well all season long. How do you measure and meter that enthusiasm and just stay with the system?
I mean, you know, everything, as I said, is for learning. So we learned last year that we can make it there and what it takes, but that being said, we didn't win it all. We made it so close, so we know what it takes, and we're hoping that the captains, me, Ethan, and Gavin, can kind of lead our team back to the gold ball.
And talk about having a player like Gavin Zingini step up. He wasn't getting a ton of playing time last year, but now with the departure of some of the veteran players that graduated, he's really come into a leadership role.
Yeah, so I've known Gavin since I was in kindergarten. He's been one of my best friends. So, you know, it's really nice to see him step into that role. But, you know, then again, I've seen him play for so long that I know what he's capable of. And it's just great seeing him do that on the varsity floor in front of all of these people and stuff like that. So, you know, I think it's great is that he's stepping up, and hopefully he can keep it up.
Elijah Ware here with Coach Carver. And Coach, your team, y'all put on a good performance here tonight, pulling away at the end. So how do you feel about your team and the way they played?
You know, we played hard. We didn't necessarily play smart, but we played hard. A couple of unforced turnovers, but it's good to say that after a win, we got some time to clean it up, get ready for Saturday.
So Will Sharkozy had a big game. How will he be an important part of your team moving forward?
He's an integral part of what we're doing. You know, the big fella, you know, when he plays well, normally we win. So we lean on him big time, and we're happy with what we're getting out of him, and we know he's even capable of even more.
I know it's early on in the season, but what do you see from your team thus far as in y'all identity and how you guys want to play?
We definitely a defensive-first team. Pride ourselves on the defensive end of the floor and being able to get rebounds and then get into the open floor. So, you know, this weekend, you know, at the Sleepy Hollow tournament, we did a great job defensively. Tonight, not as much, but at the same token, we did what we needed to do to get the win.
So with the final 77-57, Mamaroneck victorious, we heard from Coach Carver, we heard from the captain, Will Sharkozy. Elijah, really just a fantastic performance through and through for this team, and to go 3-0 now, moving forward, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think just what Coach Carver said in the interview, it's the defense from his team. Once they started applying pressure of their own against the Sharks, they couldn't handle it, and they started expanding on the lead. They kept the lead up and eventually won by 20 in the fourth quarter. So a great game from Mamaroneck.
And they haven't really been challenged too much so far this season in their scrimmage and the early season games, and they haven't really shot the ball all that well, or consistently anyway. Once they start getting their shot to fall from beyond the arc, it's going to become a very dangerous team.
Definitely, and I know I just said it, but most of their points are going to come from defense.
Right.
Pushing, applying pressure, and off of that pressure, pushing the pace and getting easy layups from Will Sharkozy and other guys running the floor like Tommy Martin. So a great start to the season for the Tigers.
So from the Palmer High School gym, for Elijah Wares, I'm Steve Anastas. For LMC Varsity Sports, thanks for watching.